I lived in more than 8 countries over the last 15 years. Currently, I live in Latvia and I moved out of UK 5 to 6 months ago. In this particular video, I will use example of Lithuania and Latvia as two of the 3 Baltic countries. In my opinion, they are two of the most underrated countries in Europe. I'll talk about visa options, cost of living in Latvia and Lithuania. I'll talk about the housing, also some remote income ideas you can apply in your life if you don't have a remote job, and also taxes and some actionable real world steps to relocate from your country to another country, in this case Latvia or Lithuania. Both countries has got approximately 50% lower cost of living compared to Western countries like UK, US, Canada or France, but still offer European quality, and I would argue that even higher standard of life than majority of the Western countries. And that was the reason why me and my partner moved out of UK to Latvia. And there's definitely a lot of opportunities, business opportunities in these countries, and I would argue better business opportunities than in the West, because West is often oversaturated with the business. Competition is really high, while if you take your knowledge from a Western country and apply it to a country like Latvia or Lithuania, you have a really high chances to grow some really interesting business. Nature in both countries is absolutely insane. It's very Nordic. You get a lot of pine trees, also a lot of lakes, a lot of rivers. Both countries are ranked among top 15 countries with the fastest internet in the world. Everything here is very digitalized, so if you wanted to set up a business, it's going to be very easy, straightforward. English is widely spoken in both of the countries. Absolutely perfect English, one of the best non-native English speaking nations. Now let's talk about how to actually relocate. I'll give you some personal advices from our own journey of moving out of UK to Latvia. First of all, you obviously need to buy a plane ticket. Airlines like Ryanair, Wizz Air or Air Baltic offer often ticket for a price under 100 euros. Small tip here, try to avoid direct flights because they tend to be twice more expensive than flights with a layover. And if you are moving for a long term, I believe you don't mind waiting at the airport for 2-3 hours to save 50% of a ticket, or to get the ticket for a half price. Step 2, visa and residency options. Now, if you are European citizen, congratulations, you can freely move, live, travel and work across the whole Schengen zone, and you can start your new life with a very minimum of bureaucracy. However, if you are outside of European Union, there are options as well. For example, tourist visa, free stay. Most passport holders which are outside of European Union and Schengen zone can stay in member countries for up to 90 days out of 160-day period, and that's perfect amount of time, in my opinion, where you can actually explore the waters, come into the country, stay here for a little bit and figure out if you actually like it or not. Another option is temporary resident permits. Both countries offer permits based on your business activity, for example, studies, if you've got some family members in here, or even a remote work. Lithuania offers a startup visa program if you want to register your business in Lithuania. There are self-employment or freelance permits available as well, but you will probably have to prove your income. And the worst case scenario, you can spend 90 days in a Schengen zone and then spend 90 days outside of Schengen zone, for example in Turkey, Serbia or Georgia. That way you will stick to the rule of 90 out of 180 days. You get to explore different countries. You can basically pendle in and out and figure out if the country works for you. Step 3, cost of living. And this is where Baltic countries for me shine. Riga, Latvia and Vilnius, Lithuania. Both of these capitals are very livable, offering European standard of life for Eastern European prices. Let's talk rent. You can get 2-bedroom apartment in a good location in a city or city center. For example, in Riga, 2-bedroom apartment goes for approximately 400 to 600 euros per month unfurnished, or 700, 800 euros furnished. We did get our apartment. It's a 2-bedroom apartment fully furnished for 600 euros. I guess we just got lucky, otherwise you pay that 100 euros extra. Very similar prices are in Vilnius. After I spent there some time, we did some research. Prices very similar to Riga, so 700 euros for 2-bedroom apartment is kind of our standard in Vilnius. Utilities are running around 100 to 200 euros per month, depending on the season of the year. Obviously in summer they are lower, in winter they are approximately 200, maybe 250 euros if you are really heating up. Groceries, this is completely different topic on its own. I should probably film a video on that. In here in Riga we shop in local markets once in a week. Fun fact, the biggest central market in Europe is located actually in Riga. It is quite famous. It's inside the 4 massive hangars. You can get absolutely everything in there, and quality is just uncomparable. So local food is very affordable. Obviously imported food costs a little more, but generally speaking you can eat well for approximately lowest 150 euros to 250 euros per month. Now transport, public transport in both of the cities is absolutely amazing. You do get buses and trams running every 15 minutes. In Riga, monthly public transport ticket costs 30 euros and you can use all the public transport, so trams, buses, plus both cities are extremely walkable, so you don't have to always use public transport. Cities are not as large as London, definitely safer than London, so you can actually walk from one side to another side. They are compact, and if it's sunny outside, it's just absolute pleasure to do a little walk around the river. Now, health insurance. Both countries offer private health insurance and public health insurance. I am a European citizen, and within a Schengen zone we can actually use public health services of any country, and we have the similar rights as citizens of that country. That's one of the benefits living in the European Union or Schengen zone as well. But if you need a private coverage, it can be as low as 40 to 60 euros per month. And every time I'm traveling abroad, I'm using actually travel and medical insurance, which is here on the screen. I'm gonna leave a link to this insurance in the description of this video. It's very affordable. I've been using it for 7 years since I lived in Bali, never had any issues, so if you will ever need it, go and check it out. Now, dining out a meal in a mid-range restaurant, for example in Riga, can cost anywhere between 8 euros to even 15 euros. It can be even cheaper, but that's an average price. Restaurants are on a way higher standard, and as in the West, which doesn't make sense, but they actually are. Coffees cost 2 euros. Beer costs approximately 3 euros in Riga, or 5 euros if you go to some upscale bar or upscale restaurant. So in total, single person can live comfortably in one of these countries for approximately 1,000 to 1,200 euros, and couple can live on approximately 1,500 to 1,800 euros. Obviously dependent on your lifestyle, but just to live simple normal life, that should be sufficient. If you want me to make a video about how much do we spend a month living in Riga, Latvia, just please let me know in the comments. If there is enough of interest, I'll make that video as well. Now, step 4, rent first and maybe later buy. I suggest you to start renting first before committing to buying any property. You need to understand what the country is about. 2 major websites for renting properties. Let's start with Latvia. It's called ss.lv. I'm gonna leave a link in the description of this video. And for Lithuania, it's called arvodas.lt. I'm gonna leave that in a description as well. Both of the websites are quite simple. Specifically ss.lv, it's a Latvian version of Craigslist, so you can not only rent and buy a property in there, but you can also buy different stuff. And also I suggest you to join any Facebook expat groups for each of the countries, because you can find private landlords or owners and avoid any agents. Generally speaking, I suggest joining Facebook groups regardless of the reason why you're moving or whether you want to rent. just to connect with the local expats and also locals, gain more insights from the country. Is really good. And when you are ready to buy, you can find 2-bedroom apartments in Riga and in Vilnius for approximately 100,000 euros to 150,000 euros, depending on the area, obviously. If you want to go cheaper, you can find something for 70 to 80k, but either apartment will need some refurbishment or it's going to be in an older building. Great thing is that property taxes in both of the countries, Latvia and Lithuania, are quite low. Specifically in Latvia, they are approximately 0.2 to 0.3%, and full ownership of a property is open to foreigners in both countries as well. Our personal experience renting in Latvia, we didn't have to win any bidding wars as in UK. Normally in Western countries you get like 10 to 20 people interested in the same property, and then they do credit checks, they check where you work, your income, etc. You feel like it's terrible feeling, to be honest. In Latvia was quite straightforward. Nobody asked about our income, nobody checked credit score. Just agent asked, what do we do for living? It was almost like a friendly question. We sign a contract, you pay monthly payment, that's it. No background checks. It was so simple, so refreshing. So yeah, another huge benefit, you avoid a lot of headache. Now step 5, make your income remote. If you want to get employed, physically employed in either Latvia or Lithuania, expect salaries which are appropriate for this part of the world. So salaries approximately in Latvia are around 1,200, 1,500 euros average salary per month, which is not that low. Lithuania has got a bit higher salaries than Latvia, but I would suggest you to find some online work and get salary from a Western country. If you already don't have, if you have, congratulations. If you don't, there are different options for you to start working remotely. You can do some freelancing, for example, on platforms like Fiverr or Upwork. You can design, you can edit videos, you can manage social medias or build websites if you've got skills, or you can find a remote job, either part-time or full-time. If you do not have any experience whatsoever working online or with the remote jobs, you can, for example, work as a customer service support. So imagine when you have some issues, for example, with your banking, you reach out to customer support, you can work in that position as an agent. This is completely a remote job. And if you have some skills, you can do project management remotely, sales, marketing, recruiting. Majority of the companies these days are hiring remote workers, and I'm pretty sure this is not new information to you. Or you can start doing social media, for example, like I do. I understand this is not for everyone, but some people perhaps are interested in that. So if you are interested in something like that, creating your own ebook guide, putting your knowledge into a digital product or guide which you can sell to others, this is very doable. I have a guide, so I'm gonna leave a link in the description. And even if you already have some sort of income and you earn approximately 1,000 to 1,500 euros per month, you are already living a very sustainable life in Latvia or Lithuania. Step 6, taxes and legal setup. Taxes in both countries are very manageable, especially when you are self-employed and earning from abroad. What's more important, neither of the countries are taxing you on your foreign income unless you become a full-time tax resident of a country. So here it's very important to plan accordingly and strategically. And if you decide to become a tax resident of Latvia or Lithuania, it's quite easy to set up. All the paperwork is online, everything is very digitalized. Latvia, for example, is using e-signatures and e-IDs for a few years now. The same system has been applied in Estonia as well. Step 7, logistics and moving your stuff. My opinion is that you don't need to ship your whole life. I would suggest you to do something similar to what we did. We basically sold the majority of our possessions. We collected some money, and then we bought what we needed in Latvia. We luckily moved into furnished apartments, so there wasn't a lot of stuff we needed to move, and we saved actually those money we earned from selling our old stuff, which is one of the ways. IKEA is everywhere if you need to. There are more brands. There is another brand similar to IKEA called Jysk in both of the countries. It's Danish. It's actually a bit more affordable than IKEA. You can also buy plenty of good used stuff in local markets or on a marketplace. And if you are bringing your pets, it's also very doable. All you need is a microchip, rabies vaccine, and a European pet passport. However, if you decide not to sell everything and you want to ship parts of your furniture, etc. abroad, I know about the service which does that. It's called My Baggage. I need to start with the fact that I am not affiliated and this is not a promotion. I just know about this because some of my friends used it. It's apparently very reliable. If you want to ship something, for example, from UK to Latvia or Lithuania, up to 30 kilos will cost you approximately 47 to 50 euros, which is quite affordable. Another option is there are actually people who are driving from UK to Latvia or Lithuania with their private van. It's like their private business. They load up full van and they transport the items. They stop alongside from Latvia to UK in different countries. They pick up the stuff and they deliver it. We use this service. We paid like 50 euros for 30 kilo. We shipped like 100 kilos of mostly clothing. Last step number 9, and this is very often underrated step, is mindset shift. Very often people who are moving abroad are scared, and sometimes I heard people saying that they feel guilty, like they are escaping. You need to understand that you are not escaping anything. You are just building something better for yourself, and you are just trying to be smarter. Both Latvia and Lithuania are the countries which will not make you rich overnight, but they will give you a room to breathe. They will offer you clean space, fresh air, plenty of nature, calm environment, walkable and green cities. You definitely won't feel like you are drowning in the bills and you are stuck in a system that doesn't make sense. That was a problem for me. I felt in UK like I was stuck in a rat race. Everyone was just working, and then over the weekends, pop culture. So if you are tired of expensive housing and low quality of life, you are definitely not crazy. There's plenty of people like us. Stay for a month or two in one of those countries, and it doesn't even have to be one of those countries. Just stay a month or two in any of the countries you want to relocate to. Try to fill it out, try to explore the country, do your own research, and then when it feels right, move. I hope that this video helped. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. I will reply to all of them. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video soon.